This is a horror game podcast. It is meant for mature audiences. It may contain shocking revelations, violence, and sexual themes. Viewer discretion is advised. Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I are playing the Delta Green role-playing game. I'm your host, Thom Raley. The scenario is Dead Letter. It was written by Adam Scott Glancy, and it can be found in Delta Green Countdown. It's available from Drive-Thru RPG. Our handler is Robert Bocchiere, and this is episode 3. Our recap will be given by me as my character, Agent Malarity. So without any further delays, let's continue our journey into the darkness. This is my official report. Agent Malarity, identification code B19924D, dated second week of September 1998. This has been, so far, a most perplexing assignment. We are currently in Browning, Montana, trying to work out the circumstances and details behind the shipping cross-country of the head of a German Shepherd guard dog we have now affectionately named Agent Frank. We have determined that Agent Frank most likely originated at the Amalgamated Biocarb Pharmaceutical Development Labs located on the Milk River. The package containing Agent Frank's head was supposedly shipped by an American native of the Blackfoot tribe, one Thomas Ironshirt, but based on the testimony of a local postal employee, this does not seem to be the case. We are hoping that further investigation will reveal the identity of this man. Our current suspicion is that he may be one of the scientists working at ABC. The whereabouts of Mr. Thomas Ironshirt are unknown, and given his clandestine and inconsiderate nature, it seems unlikely that we will discover anyone who knows his location. He has a small cadre of friends who we may or may not run into, but so far this aspect of the investigation has led nowhere. The boy and his gang may not even be directly involved. His girlfriend, Lynn Crystal Stone, is a custodian at ABC, and we now wonder if perhaps they attempted to gain access in search of drugs or items they could sell to obtain such recreational substances. We don't know. That being said, Agent Midnight found no evidence of drug paraphernalia at the boy's home. I have found evidence of the same compound that was used to reanimate Agent Frank in samples that I collected of soil, flora, and fauna of the Milk River downstream from the ABC facility. We can see a dog run and assume that they have guard dogs loose at night. Speculation that it may be that Agent Frank was not part of an experiment, but possibly the victim of an industrial accident. We have resolved to covertly observe ABC in an attempt to identify which scientist sent the package. Also, I should mention that this evening we committed our beloved Agent Frank to the flames. May his spirit soar up to the happy hunting grounds or wherever good dogs go. Oh, and Agent Mailman and Mendicant blew up a squirrel.
Thank you, Tom. All right. So, yeah, we were doing a little bit of reconnaissance now. I think we said Mendicant and Mailman. We're going to be watching the ABC facility until you could find this person and get a chance to intercept them. Did anybody else have any plans beyond that?
I was thinking just bringing up this company and seeing their seeing if they have personnel photos, especially of the top guys or gals that are in charge. There's a Dr. Leslie de Haviland. See if they've got some photos of these people just on their website. And if any of those match the person that we saw on the video cam or the videotape from the post office.
Yeah, you could definitely find a picture of Dr. de Havilland. She's the CEO of the entire company. She's also female and definitely not the person that you saw in the post office and in Browning here.
But is there
She's
anyone
probably not.
else?
Hmm?
Anyone else?
There's nobody from this like specific area. No, there's a few pictures of like higher upper executives in the company, but it's an international company.
Okay.
So there's nothing on there
De
like
Havilland, she's the only one that's, well, it was a shot in the dark, but
yeah, it's one of the reports mentioned her by name as the like owner of the entire company. But no, you have no evidence that she's even out here in Montana.
well, with that said, no evidence. Let's run a check on her, see if she got a speeding ticket someplace, or where is she located?
And you have U.S. Marshal records, I think, for
Yeah.
the base. Yeah, you don't find any kind of criminal record on her. You can see off of their website that ABC's corporate headquarters is in Boston. So presumably she's operating out of
Yep,
Boston.
Boston. All right. All right. Well, that's all I'm going to do.
I think that I will attempt to. Uh, I would like to try to ascertain via computer records and stuff like that what kind of substances, compounds, and so forth are being shipped into the pharmaceutical company that they might be working with. Uh, I mean, I'm expecting to find the usual stuff, the stuff that I'm able to identify, but perhaps they've had some shipments covertly sent in, or there's got to be records of it somewhere. Where is this substance coming from? What have they managed to put together? See if we can identify what it is. And in the process, I'm wondering if I can do some sort of identification. Like that's what I'm thinking is kind of a litmus test. You can use litmus to test for acid, and it changes color. If I could make a compound that changes color upon contact with even minute traces of the blue substance, then if we ever get into the facility, I can just, rub it on the spot on the door, on the wall, on the floor, and see if it changes color. I
That
don't
sounds
know
like something
how
you could
helpful.
actually do. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not
that
sure
seems
how
really,
helpful it'll be to our investigation, but we might be able to trace what happened and where.
yeah, it sounded, I again, just guessing how that would work, you would just need to find some kind of substance that reacts in some sort of visible way to this compound. So
Right.
it seems more like just trial and error than anything. Why don't you make a chemistry roll then? See how long it'll take to do something like that.
Yeah, I got a 16. So where is my chemistry? 16 out of 70.
That's quite good. You probably didn't even really need to roll for that. All right. It is currently Wednesday. That makes it the 8th, the 9th, September 9th. So we'll say that you're able to have something wrapped up by the end of the day on that. It'll still
Okay.
take a little while just to figure it out, but you'll be able to do that pretty quickly.
We'll say it'll take the form of like a vial that I can keep in my pocket and I can pull out a Q-tip, touch something with it, and look at the Q-tip.
Sure. Okay. That seems, yeah, appropriately clandestine. All right. Did anybody else have anything they wanted to try and run up?
I,
Just to, oh, go ahead. Right
oh,
ahead.
is it possible to do any kind of like where I work with the Department of Justice. Can I do any kind of like legal research to see if there's been any sort of lawsuits against this facility, any kind of like EPA violations, which they probably don't have, um, but more the legal kind of aspect of it. Is there anything that they've been sued for recently in the recent
Sneaking in
past?
illegal chemicals would be one of the things that you might find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with that, kind of where I was thinking, maybe we could get credentials for the EPA or something. We could, get a hold of our handler and start working on that. And with your help, Mars, maybe we can, have the official paperwork for something like this.
Yeah, I was just trying to think of maybe if there was a legal angle that we could just kind of show up
Yeah.
and
Yeah, especially if you could get the some kind of draft, the paperwork that look right. We
yeah.
get the credentials from the handler, and then maybe if this going through this one scientist doesn't get us in, maybe that will be our other option.
The fact that some of the substances being found in the Milk River, that's something that somebody from the Environmental Protection Agency could have picked up, and then we're there to investigate if they had some kind of an accident.
Or it could have been an anonymous tip given to the EPA that there's something weird in the water.
Yeah.
You know,
But I thought the EPA had already tried to
yes.
review the place, but they like basically because they're on tribal land, they can dance around.
Yeah, I mentioned about the EPA. Probably there's nothing down that road, honestly. But I
No, but
was
I'm
thinking,
saying that we could pretend to be EPA people
Yeah,
investigating.
That's exactly what and
Yeah.
I think there's enough probable cause. I know we're on tribal lands, but the waters drain into all, other bodies of water of the United States.
Yes.
We go in there with, this is a polluting plant. I think we could do it, especially with the right paperwork.
Okay. Yeah, Mars, you can definitely run up something like that for me. Do you have make a law roll?
it'd be odd if I didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you do.
Okay.
Don't
Good
you think
Lord.
too that some of the tribal elders might be kind of mad that they're polluting the environment?
Yeah. Unfortunately, in '96, it's not going to get it.
Is there an assistance mechanic in this? I have some, law, obviously.
Push the roll.
Yeah.
Roll the dice.
Spend the luck.
It's really it's really just that there's really not like a chance of failure here. It's really more so just a matter of time. So I will give you I'll give you one, and I think there's probably you think there's probably more you can track down about this. I'm gonna send it in the chat here.
Okay.
Lines up fairly nicely with what you were looking into. So it definitely seems like you're on the right track there. You want to read that,
You want to
Mars?
read that out loud?
Yeah, I'll read it. So I found some information. Amalgamated Biocarb has developed a reputation for playing fast and loose when it comes to FDA and EPA regulations. They have set up most of their production and facilities outside U.S. jurisdiction, preferring such locales as the Blackfoot Reservation, South Korea, Taiwan, and China. Although their headquarters and primary research facility is located just outside Baltimore, Maryland. There is a persistent rumor that ABC researchers have conducted human experimentation in China as part of their program to repair neural damage and their name has been mentioned by congressional representatives in conjunction with the ongoing debate over high technology leaks to China. These rumors may be one of the reasons why none of the large pharmaceutical corporations have moved to take over ABC through a stock buyout. While ABC has a great reservoir of research to be plundered, any incoming owners would be liable for any suits or fines resulting from ABC's violations of FDA and EPA regulations.
When I said Boston, I meant Baltimore.
Interesting. Hmm.
Yeah. I think we have probable cause to go in as these EPA agents and get as much access as we possibly can and just push it.
Yeah. I mean, more Molarity, do you think that there's a possibility that you could do a quick analysis of the water and maybe whip up a quick report that we could wave in the face?
Well, that's what I've already been doing. So yeah, it's already done.
I've been working on that.
Yeah.
Sorry,
there's definitely contamination.
Yeah, we could write up official.
I'm thinking if we can identify the scientist involved, which is what you guys are trying to do covertly, we could threaten him with all of this stuff. We could use this. We wouldn't necessarily have to walk right in the front door tomorrow, but we could intimidate this fellow into getting us inside. Maybe he's on our side. I don't know.
Right.
It sounds like if he sent us the head, or if he sent the head, he wants this out in the open.
Yeah, he said as much in the letter that was in the package. It was basically like, hey, this is horrible. Please stop this.
I mean, if you guys have like 5 years, you could get him to do a key tam suit, and then you would legally be entitled to all of the information inside the lab by discovery. That might take like 5 years, though.
That'll be plan B.
I think we go in, and if the scientists can't get us in, I think we go in as EPA agents, and we just push it and just, shove the paperwork in their face and doing a surprise inspection. But let's hold on to that.
Well, let's get that ball rolling. Let's go collect that scientist.
Okay, that seems like as good a segue, I think.
In the back of our minds too, we've got to consider if we do go in there on an inspection, what are we inspecting for?
Well, you have that test now, test swab, and that would be where you step in and say, identify. I mean, we could play the cards and say, this is an unknown substance that flows from the Milk River into the Missouri River, and then on.
Right.
Well, we tested the squirrels, remember?
Mm-hmm.
And the squirrels all had traces of the compound in them already because they've been drinking from the river. So we could use that as an angle.
Yeah,
I think we also kind of determined that it was something that must have happened weeks ago, maybe months ago, but not currently. The water itself doesn't have the new water. It's called new water. The new water currently flowing does not have the compound, but it's in the soil and it's in the plants and animals.
Yeah. So either there was a breach or they dumped it intentionally or unintentionally. But yeah, I think there's enough to justify. Anyways,
you know what just occurred to me? There is a possibility here. What if our Iron Shirt gang, if they did break in there, what if they caused the breach?
Likely.
Most chemical companies are very careful with their chemicals. They're not just going to go spilling them all over the place. Guard dog.
Yeah.
There might be something there. And we haven't seen we don't know if the kids are just off smoking weed in the bayous or whatever, but
I think if they were alive, we would have found something, or if they were around, rather, we would have found something.
Well, then how would the scientists know these kids to send the
He
package?
may have been there when they were captured.
Yeah,
Right,
I mean,
well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and executed or at least taken away in front of him.
Well, maybe it's even
Or
worse
they're being experimented on. Oh, go ahead.
maybe it's even worse than they were executed. We know that the dog was probably accidentally infected with this shit. Maybe they were too, and they were busted up in the accident and just are in the
Oh.
form of some half alive homunculi.
Yeah, they could be experimented on intentionally, or again, like you said, maybe accidentally got contaminated. But
Well, I
since
hate
they
to say it,
be
but
kind of
scientists
soaked-
can be very opportunistic if they're
Well,
suddenly
exactly.
presented with a dog's
It
head.
doesn't sound with what Agent Mars found, it doesn't sound like they're beyond testing on humans. So if you've got a couple kids that were breaking in, you got a vat of chemicals, you dip them into it.
I'm wondering if putting the screws on Miss Crystal Stone, was that her name?
Mhm.
And seeing
Yeah.
if she orchestrated it to leave a door open so that the boys could get in. You know, we could put the thumb screws on her and see what she has to say.
Yeah, you could definitely swing by her place again.
If it's worth it, if you think that's worth it. I'm sure some of you have
Right.
Psychological torture and or torture
Whoa.
under.
I thought more like threaten her with a lawsuit or something.
Yeah, jeez.
He's
But I mean, if we want to
waterboarding
go
right
down
off the
that,
bat.
That's psychological torture, yeah. But
do you want me to torture her?
Plan B.
I want
Yeah,
you to
ma-
make her so uncomfortable that she spills the beans,
So you want me to torture her?
either
There's a-
psychologically or we are Delta Green. We don't give a shit how we get it done.
Maybe we'll go through the levels of escalation. First threaten with legal action, then at the top we can do physical mutilation and torture.
No, we don't
Or-
have to mutilate her. Just get like an old.
Strap her to a rocket,
No.
squirrel rocket.
You're going to squirrelize her.
Now we're talking. Now we're absolutely talking.
I mean, we could like the water fountains a little where it has the big plastic tanks. We could cut that, put that on her head, and then dump spiders in
Yeah,
there.
it's horrible.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
But where are you going to get that many spiders?
Petco
I can go out and start
and
collecting
PetSmart.
Sell spiders by the pound at PetSmart.
No, but if I go to a couple of different stores, I can get enough. I only need like two.
Well,
big
mealworms, you could put mealworms. That's pretty nasty, completely harmless.
You guys have
Yeah.
watched way too much Fear Factor.
Make her eat Rocky
I
Mountain
think we
oysters.
are direct arresting.
So I'm gonna go grab this guy, right? I'm gonna go grab him.
All right, that's what I was trying to get to. Is if Mendican and Mailman are staking out the facility, you would see that evening. You'd see you'd spot the scientist leaving the main administration wing in the middle of the ABC plant and going to the on-site residence there. So he's definitely there, but he also did not leave the facility. It seems like he's staying on site. So the question is if you want to try and penetrate the site or wait for him to leave.
Probably
You
need
don't
to
know
do
if
that at 3 a.m.
he left at least once to go to the post office that you know of, so but it's up to you. You don't know how long it could take.
Maybe we should try to get his attention.
But how do we do that without ever getting everyone else's attention? If the
Plus,
squirrel wasn't enough, I don't know what is.
Damn it, if only we had the squirrel, we could send him out, deliver a message clandestinely.
I've always wanted a squirrel to fly in and give me a message. But we're getting off topic.
I mean,
Um,
is does he look like he will go like towards the fence or something in an isolated area?
No, he doesn't really wander the grounds or anything. It just looks like at the end of the workday, he's going to bed.
okay, so we're just gonna have to nab him.
Agreed. So we're breaching and nabbing.
Yeah.
All right.
So I've been watching this place for days now. Do I have like a good like time frame of, because most scientists are creatures of habit. So like, do I notice any pattern? Like I know he's not leaving the site, but is he a certain place at a certain time?
He's pretty much in the lab all day. He comes out of the on-site residence in the morning and he stays in there until the evening.
So we're gonna have to get him in the morning.
Yeah, because
You, you know,
you know the facility is already pretty well protected. At night is when the guards actually patrol with dogs in the fences there. So it would be very difficult to go in at night. And there are cameras, of course, as well.
well, so maybe we should consult the girlfriend janitor first to give us an in. We can go in, and then while we're doing whatever we're doing in there, we can just also, as an ancillary activity, deliver a message to him to meet us.
Or we can convince her to put us in the trunk and she parks in the parking lot
I love that idea,
and
frankly.
we get him that way. And that might be a stupid idea. I'm just putting it on the board. We can stick a pin in that.
Agent Mailman, there are no stupid ideas, only stupid people.
So unfortunately, you do know that she drives a motorcycle, so there is no trunk.
Damn.
There was no automobile at her residence.
She can borrow my car. I mean, it's not mine.
That's true, yeah.
Well, let's see if she'll even say it. Like, she's probably going to have to take a bribe. So let's go talk to her to see if this is even an option.
Yeah,
Is this
agreed.
if we go now, is this a time where she's not cranky?
Yeah, later in the evening, like before she is when she's going to be awake. You guys went like first thing in the morning last time, which is when she's sleeping after her night shift. So yeah, you're going, 4 or 5, 6 p.m. or something at this point. So yeah, this is around when she would be actually awake before she goes into work.
Okay. So we'll drive over there and I'll knock on her door again.
Is this just mailman and mendicant, or is anybody else going?
Yeah, it could be just us.
Okay. All right. And I don't think she's met either of you, right? It was Mars and Midnight who went to her place last time.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Well, yeah, you guys drive down then from the ABC facility back down to the trailer park where she was living and knock on the door. She comes in short order. And yeah, she's definitely awake this time at least. She says she just she kind of opens the screen door and looks out at you guys a little suspiciously. Can I help you? What's going on, guys?
I oh, go ahead.
Oh, if you have a plan, then go ahead, because I don't.
Yes, I'm here to speak with a Thomas Ironshirt.
She just kind of sighs and says, Tommy's not here. Nobody's seen him in months.
So yeah, so I know you haven't seen him in months. But that's kind of why we're calling. A couple of months is a long time. Have you reported him missing?
He says, No, I didn't report him or anything. I mean, we weren't like married or anything. We were dating for a while. But nobody's really seen him. It just seems like maybe he left or something. He
Yeah,
communicated.
but maybe you didn't report him missing because you already know where he is.
Uh,
Can I roll psychology to see if
yes, thank
she's
you. I was trying.
yeah.
I knew it wasn't human intelligence. Yeah, you guys can both roll psychology.
Oh, I think that is human
It is
intelligence.
human,
Oh, it is
actually.
human intelligence.
In Delta Green, yeah.
Oh yeah, duh. It's psychology and Call of Cthulhu. I mixed them up. So yeah, roll human
Patch.
intelligence. Too much masculine left too.
A pass on my end.
Okay.
Oh, I failed.
Okay.
Lucy, you're bad. Okay, now go away.
Yeah. That's a good dog. So when Mendicant mentions that maybe she knows where he is already, and that's why she hasn't reported him missing, she visibly reacts to that.
So once I see that, I'm like, so we're getting somewhere. Look, we're not here to hassle you, but the next people who show up asking questions about this might be. We're here because we have reason to believe that there's some stuff going on in there that needs to stop. The company, that company's already in trouble. They already, the hammer's already been dropped by the EPA and other agencies, but we need physical proof. But by the time the EPA gets in there on normal channels, that proof is going to be gone, and I'm pretty sure you know that. So help us help you. What can you do for us?
And I'll add, this is a matter of national security. And I'm gonna sort of like try to hint.
He says, I don't understand what you want me to do. Are you guys cops or something? Why can't you just go in then? I don't understand.
So you don't, so it doesn't work that way. That facility is on tribal land, which means it's on a sovereign state, which means we don't have any power.
And we're not cops. We're not, I guess, what you would call official arms of law enforcement agencies. We're more of unofficial arms of deniable agencies that might have the letter CIA in the title.
Think of us as angel investors.
She's clearly very worried at this point. She says, this is,
Look,
do you want me to just tell you what I know? Do you want me to try and get you into the place?
how about both? Because the more you help us, the better we can help you. Because from what I've been watching this place for a while now, and the one thing I know they don't like and don't abide is loose ends. And when I look at you, just ask yourself, if you disappeared tonight, how many people would go looking for you? If you don't like the answer to that question, we need information.
All right, come in, come on. I'm crazy. He ushers you both inside.
Yeah.
He says, I don't I don't know where exactly Tommy and the rest of them are right now. They says they wanted to sneak into the place and try and find some shit to steal. They thought they could sell a bunch of drugs off res, make a ton of money. So I got them, janitor uniforms. He says they snuck in over the 4th of July holiday when, there weren't going to be many people there. And then when we came back, they told us there had been some giant chemical spill. The whole place was getting cleaned up, people in spacesuits. He says I've been and after that I couldn't find them anywhere. They were gone. I tried asking around, but anybody who was there that day is gone now. The they brought in a new director ever since then, and the few people who were on that skeleton ship that weekend have all been shipped off to different facilities. He says I don't know exactly what happened, but I think they did something, and I think they killed Tommy, and they burned him up or something.
I'm afraid it's far worse than you think. Uh, do you know a scientist who, and I'll describe the guy we saw in the video, glasses, normal looking.
It's, I might have seen somebody like that once or twice. Yeah, I'm on the night shift there. I think I've seen him on the way back to the apartments.
So it seems like you already tried to sneak people in as janitor's gag. And I'll look over to Agent Mendicant and just say, yeah, we can cross that one off the list.
Damn it,
Um,
that was the first thing I was gonna say.
uh, oh, what about getting a message to that scientist? Can you do that for us? Or is that safe for you?
This I don't know where he works, but yeah, we clean up the apartments and stuff, turn the sheets down and things like that. Um, I could leave a message for him in his room.
Yeah, don't worry about where he works. I don't want you in this any farther. Uh, get a message to him, and I'll start writing down a message. Oh God, what would this say so he knows it's us?
We got your package.
Yeah, got the package.
Got the package, and what's her name? Fiona. Fiona sends her regards.
Yeah, that was the person he sent it to. You don't know what his name is. He signed it Thomas.
Yeah. So yeah, got the package. Fiona sends regards. Meet us at Applebee's. Offer us.
Perfect.
If I'm gonna die, it's gonna be with endless shrimp.
For real. Oh my God, the margaritas there. The deals, you can get blasted for $5.
And this is why we're MCell. But yeah, I will write that message and I'll give that to her.
Do you know his name? Probably not, right?
No, I've never actually spoken to him.
Oh, okay.
Well, we'll get out of your hair. I will give her the number to like my burner phone for emergencies,
hmm
and I'll just tell her, hey, stay out of trouble. All I want you to do is get this message to him, nothing more, nothing less. And this meeting never happened.
All right, all right.
Does she look like she's gonna snitch on me? Or us, actually. Do I get a snitch vibe?
You've just succeeded on a human intelligence roll for her, so I won't make you roll again. Um, she seems deeply concerned. Um, you don't think she doesn't really have anybody to snitch to. She definitely doesn't care for ABC because she thinks they killed her boyfriend. Um, no, you don't get that impression from her. she's definitely worried and scared about this because you're kind of leaning on her.
Okay. All right.
But she doesn't really have anybody to snitch to. I mean, she could tell the tribal police. What are they gonna do? Like,
Nothing.
yeah.
Okay. So, since I didn't have to bribe her, I'll give her money for a pizza and we can leave after that.
Okay.
And if you need help, call the number. We'll chop her in.
Oh, and when are you guys telling him to meet you in your message? Just like the following evening?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So I guess after that we'll drive back to the rest of the group and I'll just disseminate the information like, hey, I talked to the girlfriend again. She knows a lot more than she let on the last time. She did break her boyfriend and her friends in there, and they caused some kind of trouble, which caused some type of contamination or something like that. And she says everyone who was working the skeleton crew that night is gone. They got shipped off to other facilities.
Mhm.
So she's not a fan of ABC. So what we have done is what we do, two things we know. Sneaking in as janitors or as workers is not going to work. They're already onto that gag. So we sent her in with a message for the scientists to meet us at the Applebee's down the road off the res tomorrow evening.
Yeah. And so now we know precisely when the industrial accident happened, July 4th weekend.
Yeah.
July 4th was on a Saturday, as I recall. And so it happened either on Saturday or Sunday, probably Saturday.
Yep.
And it's debatable whether they knew completely about it until the next day because, well, somebody would have been there. The guards would have been there. The dog would have gotten involved.
Yeah,
Now
they said.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say they said there was a skeleton crew there, so they
Right.
probably knew immediately.
So now the question might be if this compound was something that they were already working on, or whether the compound was the result of the accident.
I think it was something they were already working on, and I think that
Because if it was something they were working on, wouldn't they have patented it and secured it?
but that's the thing. I think it was secure, but I think these kids went in and caused trouble, and they probably were touching buttons and pulling switches they didn't know what they went to, and I don't think it was deliberate. Like they're in the wrong. I just want to be clear, but I don't think the contamination was deliberate. I think it was a direct result of them trying to go in because she said they weren't going in there to be freedom fighters. They were going in there to steal shit. So that doesn't sound
Right.
very surgical, is what I mean.
Yeah.
So a possible direction of investigation. Now we have a date. I wonder if they're a fairly top-notch facility with security, then most likely those cameras are transmitting off-site, right? Not the way that works.
Not necessarily.
If we can find a place where they store their stuff, we might be able to find out what happened. If we can get those tapes, we can hack in.
Well, I don't know where that is. That's the security hut. That's on the western side of the facility. I think that's west.
They haven't deleted that. Sounds like I could see them deleting all that.
People used to do a lot of that deleting stuff before it was digital, but now there's not much point in deleting. I mean, when it was all on VHS tapes, you had to keep reusing the tapes. But oh wait, this is 1998. I guess we had computer storage and everything.
Either way, they would have kept the tape of the incident because for scientific purposes.
Or gotten rid of it on purpose, so that
Or
nobody
gotten
ever
rid of it.
finds
Yeah,
out
that's
what the
also
hell.
possible.
They just cleaned it all up. But yeah, I mean, it sounds like we wait and talk to the scientist. I mean,
Yeah, you fooled him into thinking that we're the reporter or the reporter's agents.
Yeah.
Right.
In the meantime, we should definitely look more into the lawsuits against this
Yeah.
company.
And
Speaking of which, Mars, can you make another law roll for me?
Yeah.
I want to see if you can.
Much better. I got a 2.
Nice. So there's, based on what they told you, something occurs to you. Although since it's on tribal land, they have pretty much carte blanche to do whatever they want as far as EPA inspections and things like that go. You already knew that. They've basically been screwing around with the inspectors for years. But if a chemical spill did happen and they didn't report it, that's very illegal. And so if you had evidence to back that up, then that could be a potential entry point.
It's a
And
good point.
it seems like they went because Lynn said they came in the following morning and they were already there, like buttoning everything back up, cleaning it up.
Hmm.
yeah,
It's a good plan.
we go
I
in with
am
a date.
curious.
Just a thought.
Yeah, I mean, that would make them squeal, or at least start to run and get really worried.
Yeah. Maybe our meeting with this guy can give us some evidence of that spill, perhaps.
A little more details.
Yeah.
I'm not really that familiar with how tribal land works. I know that it's sovereign nation. It's not technically part of the state legislature, but doesn't the federal government, doesn't the FBI still have jurisdiction there?
That's correct.
no, no,
Because it's federal.
Well, the Bureau of Indian
Affairs
Affairs has jurisdiction over
You
reservations.
can call the FBI in, but yeah, well, and I don't think it really matters. I mean, the EPA does show up here. They do have jurisdiction, and again, this facility is connected to waters of the United States, so it goes beyond just the reservation. So if we picked up a contamination any place along the Milk River, Missouri River, Mississippi, and we've traced it back to here, that's good enough. There's enough justification. We've got a date. We've got it. You could go in with an informant. We've got this informant. We know this happened. We want to see it. And we want to see all paperwork and everything related to it. That'll make them, that will really scare them.
Yeah, there's not, if you went super hard onto it, there's not too much they can do. They can basically, if a judge signs a warrant for you guys to go in there, they can say no, it's tribal land, but then the judge can basically say like, hey, this is a legal warrant, so we're calling anybody who's blocking you carrying it out into court, and they need to explain why they're doing that, or we're gonna arrest them, basically. So there's very little they could do about that, but that's a fairly overt option, which you may not want to take as Delta Green agents.
It just reminded me, we are Delta Green.
Yeah.
We aren't really concerned with them violating the law or anything like that. And we have enough evidence now in ourselves so that we know that something happened there. And the result of whatever happened, whether an industrial accident or something, has given them the power to reanimate the dead, to keep an animal alive.
True.
And that's got to be what our investigation is. Did they get this substance from aliens? Did they get this substance from extra dimensional
Where's the unnatural
or hypergeometry?
Right.
Or
if there's an unnatural contamination there, either we take it out, but it sounds like it's a large enough vat that you're gonna put a dog into it. We're not carrying that out. Do we destroy it? Do we get in there and blow it up? Or
What if it just spilled?
Well, it sounds like there was a spill. Lynn said when they came back in, there were people in, like hazmat suits and stuff. So it sounds like maybe there was some kind of
And
So it had
dogs
to be
lick
a-
themselves.
it
yeah.
had to be a
Dog-
big enough spill though to get, because didn't you say before that the dog would have had to have been immersed just submerged into this
Not
stuff?
necessarily. What if a dog's clean themselves by licking themselves all the time? If he
Well,
got
that means
that on him and started licking it off, he's
then that
ingesting
means
it.
that this stuff can that would just be a trace amount, but it penetrated all through the entire dog's body, right?
But you're assuming it was a liquid.
Oh, it dripped.
Yeah,
That's the only thing.
we had stains all over. So,
I don't know, maybe, but I would be prepared to blow it up. So,
I agree. We
Well-
have to prepare for contingencies, though. So if we are just saying eliminate facility, eliminating
oh,
facility is easier said than done.
hold on a little bit, because the danger of blowing something like that up. Haven't you all seen Night of the Living Dead? I mean, what if you vaporize the place and the stuff goes and lands in a cemetery and brings back all the dead bodies? It's got to be something more like containing it so that it can't be used, or
Yeah, this looks like a
cementing it in, or
This looks like a pretty decent sized facility, so I don't
yeah.
know. I mean, if we blow it up, I mean, it's a big bomb.
yeah.
I'm not talking
I
about
don't think blowing it up.
facility. I'm talking about whatever this specific research lab, and if we get
What
in,
if it's one of those? What if it's one of those big giant tanks? We see 4 big giant tanks.
well, I don't know what we're going to do with it if it is a giant tank.
Well,
Let's have a
hold on.
whole flood
Hold
that
on.
goes off into the.
So I feel like we're operating on the assumption that we have to deal with this tank ourselves. Our job is to figure out what's going on here. We figured out something is up. We just need more solid evidence. Once we have that solid evidence, we can push that up to our handler, and we can get more people.
Or
If
we
it
have a
maybe.
legitimate raid. There could be a
So-
legitimate raid on it.
Yeah.
From
Cool
but
question
maybe
for
we
the
can
G.
just pull the unnatural out somehow. Go ahead.
Question for the GM.
Yeah.
Because I've got the chemistry and the physics and all of that, and I've worked for Delta Green for a while now, and I've had some weird encounters. What would I roll to see if any of this sounds familiar? Is Herbert West popping up in my head with reanimator liquid, or
That would definitely be unnatural.
can I make a natural roll?
Yeah, I believe you have some points in that.
I did. I have 30 points in that.
Wow, 30 points. Nice.
Fuck. 31.
Wow.
Oh,
That shit.
So I just stand there for 5 minutes going, oh, what the fuck was that thing that I was trying to remember?
we shouldn't be discussing this. There's no reason speculate. I mean, let's talk to the scientists. The scientists can tell us what's going on.
Yeah. The only thing I'm
Yeah,
worried
we'll
about
have to wait.
the only thing I'm worried about with kicking it up the chain is there's 20 apocalypses going on right now in America alone. Like they might just tell us you deal with it.
I mean,
Well, that's what we're
And
supposed
we
to
need
do
to
is
pull
deal
out-
with it.
If it is something that we can pull out, if we can extract it, then yes, let's deal with that. But let's see what the scientist says.
you are the
I
expert.
had a large enough sample of the substance, I might be able to find something that neutralizes it. But
True.
unfortunately, our one agent who was in charge of that operation is now out in the fire pit.
Gotta soak it all up with kitty litter.
I knew we shouldn't have I knew we shouldn't have done. We shouldn't have burned him.
Well, I suspect we'll find more of this substance very soon.
I know. I was hoping that like baking soda, I just
Something
bring some
simple.
baking soda and I throw it in the stuff and it ruins their whole batch of reanimation liquid.
Well, maybe with the scientist that we're about to talk to, maybe you two can figure it out.
Yeah.
All right. Are we just going to cut to Thursday evening then at Applebee's?
I'm good with that.
Endless shrimp. You didn't tell me there was endless shrimp.
Are all
Very
five of
vague
you
benefits.
meeting him there?
Yeah,
I
except that not in the same booth nearby to listen.
I may hang outside in the parking lot to see if anybody's following him or if he's
I
got
will be
surveillance.
inside waiting in the booth with ribs.
I'm going to hold back
I
to make sure there's no surveillance on him when he leaves.
I guess I should be there because I'm a scientist.
You've got to be there to talk to him.
I can ask him the questions.
I'm definitely going in.
Yeah, I wanna be inside too, but in a adjacent booth. Yeah, I don't need to actually talk to him.
All right. Is just Malarity talking to him then?
I'll talk to
It'll
him.
be Malarity and Mailman will be there.
Okay, two of you. Okay.
Yeah.
So Mr. on standby. All right. All right. So to start with, yeah, Agent Midnight. Once the time for the meetup draws nearer, you spot him getting into his car and leaving the ABC facility. They let him out through the gate or anything, and with no issue. And you don't notice anybody tailing him or anything like that. Nobody else leaves the facility around the same time that he does. So he arrives at the designated Applebee's at the designated time. Nobody who's watching needs to make any kind of human intelligence roll to see that he is incredibly paranoid. He's visibly nervous. And I assume once he makes his way inside, Malarity, Mailman, you guys kind of wave him down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll let him walk. Like as he's walking past, looking to see. I'll just like grab, hey, old buddy, how you doing? Here, I got a plate for you right here, and I'll sit him down next to me.
He visibly jumps a little bit and it lets you basically shuffle him into the booth.
Hi, nice to meet you, Dr. J. Coleman.
Says I'm Arnold, Dr. Crisp.
I'm sorry, you're Arnold, Chris, Doctor?
Dr. Arnold Crisp.
How are you this evening?
Not great.
So, we were shown the very unusual artifact that you sent Miss Filani. Is that it? Am I getting the right name?
Linway. Fiona, it was the Fiona Linway.
Oh, there you go. Yes, Miss Fiona. What can you tell us? Seems rather unusual.
Says it says I was brought in August to help out with this research. Myself and Dr. Zeiss were both brought in. They told us it was a compound that they were working on, and they they showed us what it could do to the animals, like you saw.
Was something that they developed. And why they brought you in to assist, or
He says that's the thing. They've been I'm under the impression that they don't fully understand it yet. They're sort of having us reverse engineer it to try and understand how it works. They want to bring it to market to use it on people. From based on our testing, it makes them the target almost completely immune to bodily harm, save for complete destruction. It arrests functions, would make you immune to essentially all disease. If this could be marketed, you'd be the richest person who ever lived.
oh, and that's what pharmaceutical companies want to do. Do you know what did they? You're acting. You're telling us that they didn't know what the compound was. What did they give you an origin where it came from?
He says there must be some kind of record of it somewhere. All I know is that it was something that they were contracted to make, and they had been making it for some time, and they didn't know what it was. They agreed to make it, you know, and ship it out. True.
And you mentioned Dr. Zeiss, was it?
Yes, he was brought in at the same time as I was.
What's he think of it? I assume you're working with him.
Says, yes, it's the three of us, myself, Dr. Zeiss, and Dr. Metro is was the lead on it. She was the one who called us both in. We've worked together in the past.
So she's the head of the team.
Yes, she's the head of
Dr.
research
Metro.
on this.
I see.
Says they both seem completely enchanted by it. I was too to start, but
was the dog part of an experiment?
There was an accidental breach in July, and several dogs and several people were exposed to the compound, which is how they discovered what it does. They didn't tell us that we only saw the dogs, but there was a second secure section of the lab that only Dr. Metro was allowed into. Dr. Metro and Ray Turner, the director. I was suspicious, and so I snuck into it one night, and they have several men in there in various states of dissection, all still alive.
And one of them is Iron Shirt.
Yes.
That's where you got the name?
Yes.
Oh, wow. And your reason for sending this to us was because you wanted exposed and brought to light.
Says yes. Once I saw what they were doing to these people, this is not right. But I had to find someone to send it to because I was afraid that if I sent it to the government or some major news network, they could just be bought out. They could just be bribed with the promise of immortality. I needed to find somebody who would be convinced by the horrible nature of what's happening here.
Pete, do you have anything you want to add?
What's the
I say
easiest
that to
way?
Agent Millman. Yeah.
What's the easiest way to get into the facility? Security's pretty tight.
If we can get some photography in there, take some pictures. Also, do you know any way of I'd like to know what you know so far, what the compound is, what its
Yeah, and
chemical composition is.
who contracted you to make this in the first place? Did you get that? Do you know?
Well, he wasn't making it. He was contacted in to analyze it. Uh,
No, I just mean who contracted the company to do it.
uh,
There's all I know is that it was some South American holding company.
that's interesting. So what have you figured it out? I mean, you've been there now for a few months. What have you figured out about this stuff? You know what it's made out of, where it came from,
Yeah, how to get rid of it.
chemical composition, how to analyze, yeah, how to neutralize it.
He says we know what most of the material is. There's some of it that we still don't understand the origin of. We're still receiving the materials to make it. This is still this deal that they've made is still ongoing. They send a shipment of it out every month.
Oh,
It's under it. They label it as I believe insect repellent and ship it out by train. Have it sent out to South America.
so they're continuing to manufacture more and more of it.
Yes, the production was shut down for some time after the incident, but was brought up. It's commenced again. That's the only reason we're able to continue to research it is because these people are sending us the necessary materials to create it.
Do you think that they're at all suspicious that you are talking to us?
He says I don't know. I when I they know that someone stole one of the dog heads. I don't think they know it was me.
Hmm.
The some of the other security were allowed into the initial lab, and there's no cameras.
Well, we truly and reasonably want to blow this thing wide open, which is what your original intention. The American public need to know, you know, what's going on here.
When's the next shipment?
He says they send one out at the end of every month, and not for several weeks.
Oh wait, the train line comes right through the facility, doesn't
It does.
Yeah. Yeah, so it seems like they didn't, for however long this has been going on, they didn't really even know what they were making, which is, of course, in and of itself illegal. If you're producing industrial quantities of chemicals, you need to know what it is so you can handle it properly. But they've just been taking this money to make whatever for whoever and label it as insect repellent and ship it off to South America.
So you think this Dr. Metaloo was involved in that original creation of the substance?
No, the director they brought in to I forget the name of the original one, but once this happened, they brought in a new director to oversee the facility. And once he understood what they had here, he contacted Dr. Metro to begin researching it. And once she understood the enormity of the situation, she reached out to myself and Dr. Zeiss.
So I'm trying to determine who originally created the substance. You don't know?
No.
That's interesting. Do you think that it could have been an accident? You know, because wouldn't you have records, biological notebooks from the original scientist involved. All that seems to be, you said they're trying to re-engineer it, not re-engineer it. What do I want to say?
Reverse engineer it.
Yeah, reverse engineer it.
It seems like they're having the same problems that you were. Basically, they're able to identify a lot of the compounds in it, but there are some things in it that are unnatural, and they can't identify those with
All right.
whatever facilities they currently
Well,
have. At least they're struggling to do so because they
I mean,
can't.
you've risked a lot coming out here and telling us this. Do you think there's any way to covertly get any of us inside that compound? That's probably too dangerous. You got quite the guards and the guard dogs and the security. Let us worry about that. We'll figure that out.
Yeah, we just need to get in. So what can you do for us to get us in the facility?
He says, well, if you're able to get in, I can give you this now. This is the administration wing. The part in the center here is where the hidden laboratory is. Behind the stairwell between labs 5 and 3, there's an electrical junction box, and inside there's a keypad. The code is 87469. It'll it opens up the door into the secret laboratory. That's where they're doing the research on the animals, and the second secure lab is where they're doing the research on the human subjects.
Well, that's lab 1 and lab 2.
This is they're not on any no, it's literally that blacked out part in the center. It's not on any official maps.
Hey. Well, I think you've risked a lot coming out here and telling us this. You just need to play it safe. And if you see any of us around the facility, just pretend like you don't know us.
I can definitely do that.
And so this seems pretty egregious. What happened to the other federal bodies that came in, like the EPA and stuff like that? How do they get around that?
He says this incident was never reported, so there hasn't been a investigation into it. As far as I know, due to the sovereign nature of the territory it's built on, every time there's been an EPA, not investigation, but inspection, they were able to delay it for so long that they were able to make everything squeaky clean and then let them through. Because they can essentially they essentially need the tribal council's permission to do it, so they can delay it as long as they like. As far as routine inspections go.
All right. I think we've got enough to go on there. Unless you can think of something, Pete?
So just to be clear, fireworks.
Yes.
Yeah, you can burn that stuff.
Yeah, you saw that yourselves with Agent Frank.
Yeah, we took care of the dog. We didn't keep it as evidence because it was pretty pathetic and horrifying. We took samples and then okay, well, thank you very much. And I think that rather than expect him to go, Agent Mailman and I will get up and move to another table or leave. Of course, Agent Mars and Mendicant, I think, are still inside there pretending to be eating their dinner.
Yeah.
So as soon as we're outside, I'll be like, so now we know a lot. I don't think that they know what the substance is that they're fiddling around with, that they either accidentally or somebody gave them some substance from extraterrestrial or something
Yeah,
that they found.
I mean, I
It's
honestly think this is not very Delta Green, but I honestly think getting a court injunction for them to stop their operations might not be the worst idea.
well, it's most definitely Delta Green now, because if they've got a substance that they don't know what it is, and they're filling up tanker trucks or a train truck, whatever the hell you call them when they're attached to a train, and sending it off to South America, we got to find out where they're sending it to. We might be blowing up a bunch of facilities, my friend.
That I feel like really needs to be sent up.
It's now
But this is
national, yeah,
yeah. If this was
international.
if this was isolated and it was just one facility, we can handle the facility. But that the fact that this is being shipped out and this has been shipped out for months and months. Someone more important than us needs to know that.
Immortality in a drug. Wow.
In industrial quantities of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say get me some of that stuff.
Why do
So
I
then I
believe?
become the problem, right? I'd be kind of interested now to see the test subjects, the human test subjects, because uh, I mean, if it zombifies them and they can't die, but they're brain dead, that's no good anyway. But if they're completely normal and alive and just can't be killed, that's immortality. That's scary shit. That's the kind of stuff you
Agreed.
can conquer countries with, and an immortal army.
Well, in terms of the individual facility, if we could get to a ventilation system or like a HVAC system, I could probably make some sort of chemical gas that would kill or knock out everybody inside the building.
Oh, I can do that. I can
Or yeah,
create
I
a
mean, you could do that. I mean, you
knockout drone.
probably know more than me, yeah.
I was
I didn't
planning.
even think of that.
Can we set up some type of napalm bomb for the secret lab?
That would definitely be a good idea. I think we should go in. The problem is, I feel like we need a vehicle. We need to get a vehicle into the facility, and then we'll have all the space we need to sort of take care of it.
Why don't we take the doctors?
That's not a bad point. That's actually a good point.
We do have one saving grace here. They haven't figured out how to reproduce the chemically. I don't know how they're doing it right now and shipping it out, but
Compounds are
obviously,
shipped in.
Well,
So
yeah, but the doctor says they don't know chemically what its
yeah,
chemical makeup
they
is.
have like a recipe basically, and they're being sent the materials to make it. They don't know what some of those materials are. So they need to be able to, they want to be able to make it on their own so they can sell it and become the richest people who ever lived,
They
because
want to steal
we
this that's
they're debt.
made by somebody else or
Yeah.
this
So we
formula.
need to find out what they're sending in and what they're sending out, and stop it from happening. There's got to be, we need to ask Delta Green, because I'm sure they know better than we do what kind of covert groups there are in South America and possibly here that are supplying and receiving this substance. It sounds like it could be a much bigger problem than what Delta Green. We might be on the, we might be moving up to B cell at some point from being,
well,
here in M cell.
Promotions.
on the point of promotion, I don't mean to be this guy, but that doctor has to die.
I
Well, I don't think he's figured it out, so I don't see why.
I think he has, and there's not just about the figure it out part that concerns me. The fact that his willingness to whistleblow is a problem.
I mean, he
Well,
either has
why
to
don't
be
we just
co-opted or
if we can take care of the problem, why don't we just discredit him so that nobody believes the damn thing that he says? He'll just sound like a crazy nut job. You don't have to kill him.
you have a soft spot for scientist hilarity.
Well, I do, but the other possibility would be to recruit him. I mean, he would be a good asset for Delta Green in the future, maybe.
Huh?
If I was killed every time I stumbled on some secret, then I'd be 5 times dead already.
I know I'm not there, but we could frame them. You could just grab them now, hold them. EPA makes this raid, and they'll put one and one together. And
we don't want to get EPA involved in this. We need to get rid
no,
of
we're
this
not
stuff.
playing. We're going in as EPA. We're
I
going
think
in.
I think this guy has
We-
one skill that's vital for Delta Green, which is that he doesn't like weird shit. I think he's recruitable.
Yeah, I agree with Mendicant. I think this guy could be very helpful, especially, if we got to go to South America at some point and deal with whatever nonsense is down there. This guy's got some expertise.
Okay, if you want to recruit him, but
Now,
do it like now.
we do have 2 other problems, Dr. Zeiss and Dr. Metallo.
Those two die.
Well,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
just don't
I
know.
can agree with that one.
Pretty much everybody else in the facility.
There's a
has to die.
threshold, and the threshold is this. If they can figure out the chemical compound that they're actually creating, then we are fucked forever, because they'll type it into a computer and then it will exist in the scientific community, and there's nothing we can do about it. There'll be no way to retract it or erase everybody's computer or anything. As long as they don't know exactly how it's made, we can get rid of it. We can get rid of their research, and we can save the world from immortal Latinos.
But we don't know where the information for this place is being stored. We don't know if it's just here. We don't know if the doctor knows everything. What we do know is they have been researching this stuff for a while. They brought the doctor on. So they're deeper in this than just some researchers. They had the power to pull more people in. They had the power to give people clearance to see this. That implies that they're culpable and they need to go.
We need to find out what they did or what they were doing or who was involved that discovered the substance. And it's like right on the back of my mind that there's something about this concept that just seems, right on the edge of my brain, like I got a 31 out of 30 when I rolled.
Was it Jerry West, the basketball player?
Something like that.
Oh, you should, if you said that out loud, I'd be like, West. What was West? West has something to do with it.
So I'm gonna call the handler.
We should inform them.
Yeah, because this is like worldwide now. This is a problem.
This is huge. Make sure you encode everything.
Do encoded.
Say everything in pig Latin.
You guys just have the entire conversation backwards.
The Og Day is a Ed Day.
Fluid A stops X-nay. Permanente? I can't speak Pig Latin, man. Look, can we use some type of like algorithm?
Well, we could, I mean, we'll just have your conversation and assume that it's all in
Yeah.
code.
Okay.
The only way I've ever heard that actually makes any sense to me is like it's called book code, and basically you like both of you have the same book, and you just like
Yeah.
say numbers to each other.
Yeah.
References like words and what line, what page that word is on. And it takes like hours to have a conversation this way, but it's essentially unbreakable code because only you two know what book you're using.
The weather in Detroit is affected by butterflies. Got it.
Does the
I'll
scientist
send out
get
the
back
National Guard.
okay?
What's that minute?
Was the scientist, he got in his car, he went back all right?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna grab him because if he's either gonna die or become one of us, it's been voted that he's gonna become one of us, but he's getting kidnapped one way or the other. I'm snatching him.
But if you kidnap him, then everybody at the facility will know tomorrow morning.
Right, I don't know if we're prepared.
Well, we have to ask permission. We can't just induct him, right?
Oh, that's correct. Yeah, I wouldn't let him know anything. This is what if he survives this, in 5 years, we'll walk up to him on the street and say, "Come with us."
Fair enough. Okay, so yeah, I'll call the handler.
Okay, yeah, it takes a minute for the phone to redirect itself through the secure lines that you use for it before rings several times before Agent Drake picks up. Says, "What's the update?"
Drake, this is no longer an isolated incident. We have facts proving that this is worldwide. Can't say that today. Uh, for one, I need you to research how many insect repellent, large industrial quantities of insect repellent have been shipped to South America. Whatever they're making here, it stops things from dying. There was a chemical spill. They're making things out of substances they don't even know what it is. They're so hard up for money. They're just taking orders. The people are shipping stuff here, and they're just making what they're told and shipping it off to South America. So this has been going on for months. So containment was broke before we even got on this case, before you got on this case.
Ask him too if there's any kind of immortality drug that sounds familiar to him.
Yeah, and have you heard of any type of immortality serum or drug in the past? Because that's basically what they've been making, but on an industrial scale.
That's not something I've personally encountered. No, I'll have to move some of this up the chain to see what we can do with it. We don't have much reach outside of domestic U.S. territory. There's something that needs to go on in South America. ASA will have to try and set something up there. That's not your concern right now. He says, for now, focus on what you've already got in Browning. We don't try and track down as much information as you can about where this is coming from. As far as we know, there could be a dozen other places around the world making this crap. Try and figure out as much as you can about it, and then neutralize everything. Get rid of this stuff. Get rid of anybody who wants to make it.
With pleasure. There is one scientist that we may feel could be useful to the organization. So the others have asked me to ask you, could he be considered for use later on?
You're talking about the whistleblower, I assume?
Yep. Regular bleeding heart.
It's possible. They don't normally go for people who try and expose things like this.
I said that.
be more interested in him if he had burned the place down himself. But if we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And once this mission's concluded, if you all decide that he's more useful to us alive, we can try and move that up the chain and see if that's something agreeable to ACEL. But if you think he needs to be cleaned up with the rest of them, then I leave that decision to you all. You are the experts in the field.
Understood. Can we have napalm?
And
Napalm is just gasoline mixed with soap. It's easy to make.
yeah,
I'm sorry, I fell apart. I fell asleep during that in chemistry class. Sorry.
Yeah. There's soap and gasoline will give you napalm.
We're getting a plan together. We're going to neutralize this. But yeah, if you have other teams, it's very clear that I don't think they put all their eggs in one basket. So there's more than likely multiple facilities across the world. We can pretty much only handle the ones that are in the US, but I'm pretty sure there's probably more than just Browning. Just happens to be the one that had a containment breach. That's it.
Yeah, who's facilitating?
I would look into pharmaceutical companies that were going through financial hardships, but suddenly are fine. Like chemical companies that are about to go bankrupt, then suddenly they're getting a bunch of capital and they're doing fine. I would look into that because that's what happened here. Because the hammer was already being dropped on them by the EPA and other organizations, so it's not like they were doing this under the radar.
mm-hmm.
So I would look into that.
Someone mentioned asking for EPA credentials in the chat. Did you want to ask the handler for something like that?
Sure, yeah. And if you can get us like some EPA credentials and some signed warrants from a judge that we can force down their throats just so we can get in and we can neutralize this, that would be helpful.
We could bake that.
He says, I can definitely have some credentials baked up for you. You can pick them up at Malmstrom Air Force Base. It's a few hours out of Browning. You have contact there. They should be able to get there within 72 hours. There's not going to be any warrant. We're not bringing this to anybody else's attention.
So you want me to go in the hard way? Okay. Hey, Mendicant, we're on.
I was waiting for you to say that.
The compounds are being shipped in by train.
Yes. So there's a regular shipment. Oh yeah, I'll tell the
coming out.
Yeah, I'll tell the handler there's a regular shipment at the beginning of each month that comes out of this facility and gets shipped. So I know you can't touch it once it's in South America, but you might be able to catch it at one of the ports.
And we might be able to track the shipments of compounds where that's coming from.
I think that it might make sense that they're sending in the compounds that they already know are in it. And then in this facility, they're adding the secret ingredient and then they're shipping it out.
That would be great if that's the case. Then we could.
Because otherwise, how would you would see the compounds coming in. You'd know what was in it. But if the secret ingredient isn't one of those, then they're just...
Well, if they're sending in barrels of mix for this stuff and one of the barrels is, hunting horror droppings or something, then they're not going to be able to reproduce.
Got a big X on it.
Yeah.
But then somebody somewhere would have to be getting hunting horror droppings.
Yeah.
Right. So tracing that shipment back to its origin, at least who loaded it on that train car, would at least give you that trail. That's got to be a paper trail.
Yeah, that's definitely something somebody will be looking up. For you guys, he's basically telling you to focus on Montana.
Or one hit.
Yeah.
Burn it
All
down.
right.
That's
Burn it down and kill everyone.
Yeah, that's other cells will be scrambled to start tracking that stuff down.
M is for murder.
Mercy.
Mayhem.
That's true.
Mustard gas that we're gonna put in the air conditioner.
Molotov.
And Molotovs, yeah. See, you got it. You got it.
So
These were
yeah,
all
is there
good Asian names.
so I'll just ask for any equipment we can use to storm this place, because right now I have my rifle and I don't have any explosives. I'm assuming Mendicant can just make them, but if we could have any equipment that'll help with this, do it quietly or at least quickly, that would be a big help.
Make a bureaucracy check for me.
Ooh, bureaucracy.
Everybody's like unironically one of the most important skills in Delta Green.
Here we go.
Was it great?
It wasn't great.
Like a no.
It wasn't great.
I think we'll have to make it ourselves. We have some time.
They might, yeah. Either they'll only have basic things for you, like they might be able to get you more firearms. They're not gonna like be giving you like breach it, or if it's a specialized thing, you're gonna have to wait longer. So it depends. Maybe think about it because we're gonna be finishing this one up soon. So maybe think about the kind of stuff you'd want, and we'll see what we can get when.
About a drone strike.
I don't think that exists yet, does it?
Did we hit a green
98
box
now.
around here? Is there
Oh,
a
yeah,
green
that's a
box?
good point.
Especially where we're going to pick up the credentials, someplace in between.
Yeah. They might have
They
air
have
to
something
missile.
useful.
That's probably your best bet is to, yeah, they can try and track something like that down.
Well, yeah, when we go get our
Excellent.
credentials at the base, we can slide by a green box and see what's available.
Yeah, it sounds like the plan should probably be use the EPA credentials to get our foot in the door and then start, shooting, get to the HVAC system, pump the gas in if we want to do that. And then at that point, hopefully that solves most of our problems.
I was thinking
But you-
for a fire too, we'll evacuate the facility.
Oh,
Well, we don't want to evacuate. These, like, with the exception of the scientists that we want to save, everyone else is he just told us they got to go.
I don't know if we can kill. I mean, I'm not sure how many people are at this facility.
Hold
We
my
have to
beer.
take out a handful of the uppers, but the scientists, but I'm not sure about everyone.
Well, laying aside all subjectivity and just being purely objective, if everybody in the compound dies because of some gas inhalation, then it'll just be relegated to industrial accident that killed them all. And probably very few questions will ever get answered. They'll have a standing committee finding out what went wrong. But if we make it look like a gas explosion or something, then the fact that everybody will be dead before we torch the place, they won't be able to tell.
I mean, how many security guards could they have? Like 10?
Actually, I think I got that. Hold on.
Yeah, let me see. I do have that. There was a breakdown, I think. Is that
8 guards. Mobile patrols of 8 guards.
I mean, we're professionals. We can take out 8 guards.
Yeah, but it's how you take them out. It's collateral damage. You gotta find a way to gas them.
I don't think
You don't
it
want to
matters
shoot them.
if
If you
they
shoot
do a
them,
job.
well,
But
I
you
know,
said-
but if you shoot them, then there'll be questions as to
Well,
they don't want it to.
fire could also be industrial accident, and a fire gets rid of all the evidence.
But there's
Well,
no
that's
way
what
we're
I'm
gonna get. There's no way we're gonna get 8 people in one place. Like, we have to get them on our way in.
that was also just the guards you saw outside.
Right.
There's probably more than 8 at a time. In fact, Yeah, I can just tell you that because you've been watching the place for several days now at this point, and I'm assuming that's the kind of information that mailman would be on the lookout for. Um, yeah, as far as security personnel, it looks like they employ 48 people that are broken into 3 shifts of 16 because you're literally watching them like do shift changes and stuff. So yeah, there are some that
Okay.
are patrolling the grounds. There are some that are inside the buildings as well. But yeah, it looks like
So
there's any given
there's
time about 16 security personnel on site.
there's no way to take out everybody that works the facility because they're in shifts. But we want to take out the day shift, correct? The ones that's probably when your most of
We
your
want to hit the
scientists are going to be there
scientists.
working.
Mhm.
So how about we construct a time released poison that releases itself into the vents in the middle of the day? It takes out everybody inside the compound, and then a bomb that blows the place up. If some of the guards survive, that's okay. And some of the scientists who might be sleeping uh, during the day, they'd be okay. But everybody in the building, everybody in the building will be killed, and all of their research and the stuff will be burned up by the explosion.
Why don't we think? Here's my. I'm going to throw this plan out. Why don't we do a two-prong? We do our EPA. Half of us do our EPA raid, prepared to set things on fire, but we have a distraction like a car bomb or an attack right out in the front, and that will draw your guards, your attention away. While we're inside, we may have a little bit more free reign, and we do what we need to do inside, and those outside are the distraction, and they've taken out a few guards here or there, but we're already inside. At least a group's inside, and 1 or 2 people are outside, just causing a distraction, and all hell's breaking loose. And then that'll pull their security to that,
Well,
the explosion, and then we do what we need to do inside.
they're probably going to call for fire and rescue and everything if there's a bomb that goes off outside.
I don't know if it's
I mean, that's
actively
what I do.
being shot at too, but we'll have time
Yeah, I
or fire
Time to
set
blow
the
the
place.
place up.
Yeah, we've got the code to get into the secret lab. We take it out.
I noticed on the map there were airlocks into the facility. If we, I don't know if we could hotwire it or not, but if it would be possible to, well, that one door, these other doors don't look.
Yeah, the airlocks are to
Yeah,
the
they
actual
don't have.
production places. That's it's called the gemstone facility. So yeah,
Yeah.
sapphire, diamond, ruby, and emerald are those 4 big bunker buildings. That's where, oh, excuse me. Those big bunker buildings are where they're actually producing the chemical. So yeah, there are secure doors leading from that center administration wing to each production facility.
Yeah, I misread the map, so my idea won't work.
No worries.
What about if we, instead of having the distraction right at the guard post, because I suspect it's just a wooden, if there's any kind of barrier at that in the entrance, what about if we just run it into the reception, security, and telephone switchboard? If you're worried about contacting any outside assistance.
we'll still be swarmed by 16 guards. I mean, 16, 8, we could take out 1 apiece. 16 is bad odds.
16's bad. That's why I was thinking to keep the distraction outside where you're funneling them. You have, from distance, you just take them out. You keep them pinned down.
I mean,
Somebody
Yeah,
with a
but
long,
why
with
are
a
we
sniper
trying to
rifle.
go about this as if we were commandos?
I am a commando.
Well, I
I
understand,
thought you were a
but
mailman.
tactically, you're also one of 5 people that are talking about taking out a facility with 45 or 50 people in it.
But that's why I think this
Going,
two-pronged attack is a good idea. Like you guys who don't do the wet work can be on the EPA. Me and Mendicant can be on the outside causing all sorts of trouble.
I I think we should combine the two ideas into a
well,
compromise.
okay, but the second you guys start some kind of thing outside, the entire facility is going to be aware that something is going on and they're going to lock down.
They might lock down, but again, once we're inside, we have the code, and they're gonna. I think we could
So we
take out
blow
any
ourselves up?
security. No. I think we
No?
could take out any security that may be on us, because there'll only be a few. They're more than likely is going to be scientists and then whoever's in charge of this facility taking us around. And then they cause a distraction out there, keep the guards, pinned down, have that happening. We act all surprised. Oh no, what's going on? What's happening? And then we take an opportunity in that chaos to get into the secret lab. And then that's where we set the fire. That's where we set the explosives, and then we get out.
I think I think
We should be able to get out.
I think we should do the gas. I think we should do EPA, go in, plant the gas device, do the gas, kill everybody inside the facility, and then we can go in gas masks. We won't be bothered because anybody who goes in will die who's not in a gas mask, right?
But we have to get somebody in there to plant the chemicals, and then, but that doesn't take in factor that there's exterior buildings that it won't be affected. And
Yeah. And the
the
exterior,
guards are not in the facility per se. They're in there.
Which is why we should put a car bomb into the security annex.
So
the
I
exterior
didn't want-
buildings we will take care of. Exactly. We'll take care of those with bombs, anything we want. Keep in mind they don't have any information about the stuff that's not the target. If we
Right.
leave
No.
those spotless, it'll be fine.
No, the reason I'm going at the security annex that will hopefully shut down a lot of at least the external security
Yeah.
measures.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it also I'm willing to bet that if they like a distress call would have to come from that building.
Yeah. So I think we do the gas first, and then once the gas is done and we have EPA agents inside dealing with the lab, then we can launch our attack on the security systems.
I'm just not sure how we deploy the gas. We'd have to come in again with gas mask and suits, basically.
As EPA agents, that's completely.
I don't know.
I'm just not a fan of the gas because
Yeah,
it's a bit difficult to control it. It's going to kind of go wherever. It may not be as effective as we think it is. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not sure about the gas and how much gas you have to put in to take out a facility this size.
Okay.
That's a lot of.
Well,
That's
it
a lot of
depends on the
chemicals
gas
being
that you're
pumped in.
making. There are some gases that is just a few parts per million will be enough to knock people out.
But we got to get to you got to get somebody to that to deploy it. So we need. I think I'm worried about the gas deployment. I don't think it's a bad idea. I'm not sure if that will work, especially since there's only 5 of us.
Well, I think you could kind of say the same thing of the fire idea, though, because they definitely have fire suppression systems in there.
Yeah.
In a lab. So.
Especially this one, yeah.
Yes, and that's why we need people inside to.
Which you need for the gas as well.
But we know where the power is because he told us where the power box was.
Yeah,
We
but
can
we need
shut the
the
power. Yeah, we can shut the
water.
power in the lab down.
Do any of
That's
you know
an
how to fly
independent
an
system.
airplane?
No.
I mean, you could always drop bombs on the building and blow the whole thing up and then fly away.
Now that would be suspicious.
And
Why? Nobody would know where you came from or where you were going.
but
So
Mendicant, and
what?
I mean, we could bomb we could put bombs inside instead of setting it on fire. We could just bring it all down.
You guys, it sounds like it's going to be a war zone, which is going to look extremely suspicious. I want to make it look like their tanks blew up and killed everybody.
Then
The news would
let's
say,
do it instead of a fire. Let's just do it big explosion. Let's
Right.
get into the main administration building. Let's get into the secret lab. Let's set some type of large charge, and let's make sure it's big enough to take out the admin building, Sapphire, Ruby, Diamond, and Emerald.
Yeah.
so do we get Crystal or whatever the hell her name was, Lynn, to leave one of the doors open, or maybe one of maybe the scientist to leave one of the doors open, so that at 3 a.m. we can sneak in and
Well,
I don't
no,
know how. I
because
need to
that's
know
not
the
heavy time.
logistics.
The
gotta get
night
past-
the night is when the security is the heaviest. We have to
Right.
do this in the morning.
But the day is when most of the people are there. Could we come up through the sewers like Agent Mendicant
But that was the
suggested?
point. Like, so if we go at night, we have to fight more security people and dogs. If we go during the day, it's a decreased presence. And yes, there's more people in the building, but we're not here to save lives. We're here to end this threat. If they die, they die.
Well,
Like, I don't want it to be a situation where one of them gets away, one of them has it in them or has a sample or something like that, and then a year down the road is like,
No.
well, we're all going to die, but we saved Bob. I don't want that. If they're in the building, they die.
Well, that's yeah. We don't know that it might get out of hand. But okay, look, it's September 9th. They're not going to have another shipment going out until the end of the month. So we've got a lot of time to plan. I was just thinking, what if if there are sewers underneath, we could go unobserved under the facility. We could plant. I could make gas bombs that would shoot the gas up through the toilets into the facility, all of them. And then once everybody is asleep or incapacitated or dead, we could just walk through the front door and set our charges and blow the place to kingdom come.
yeah. I mean, we have the three options, right? Fire, gas, explosion. Fire, I really think the fire suppression system would be an issue.
But if everybody's dead, we could just turn it off.
Yeah, I mean, we could try all three.
I just don't think there's enough of us to try all three. I think we need to pick a plan and go with it. It sounds like explosions.
Yeah.
We need a way in, we need a way out, and we need what we're gonna, how we're gonna destroy this. And if we can work that out, then we're good. I say we go with it.
I mean,
No?
I just like gas because I think it's easy to do, and it would allow us to have time unnoticed inside the facility. That's just the reason I like it as an idea.
Well,
But
I think if
I
it
just feel
worked,
like
it
we
would be
don't need that
great.
time. Like, our goal isn't to collect research. Our goal is to destroy it.
Yeah, we know what we're hitting. We know our target. We know how to get into it.
Like, we aren't the research team. We are the cleaners. He just
Yeah.
told us to clean this place. He never once said collect research.
Right.
Well,
No,
Doctor, what's his name? Dr. Crisp said that they're already aware that the dog's head's missing, which means they might already be on high alert, which means that letting us into the facility might be something they ain't going to do easily.
I think we take advantage of I think we take advantage of the chaos, what we do know, and we go in our official capacity as EPA, and if we can get through the front doors, we can plant the bombs. And then while we're inside, this distraction happens. And I'm not even sure we need the distraction, to tell you the truth. We get in, we
As
plant
long as we can,
bombs.
as long as we can get in and get those bombs set in the actual laboratory and let it blow out, we're fine. We don't even need a distraction. We just need to be able to get in, get the bombs there, and blow them.
Because the gas won't take out the guards that are outside, nor will it may not affect some of the lab workers because they may already be in hazmat suits in sealed,
That's a good
labs.
point. No, that's a good point. That's a good point.
So,
I mean,
The other thing that I would like to point out is we're basing this on the assumption that we're actually going to get into the building with this EPA ruse.
right.
And I have a feeling that we're going to pull up to the gate and they're going to be just like, you just guys wait here. We'll bring them to you. And
Or they're just
we're
going
not
to say no.
Yeah.
yeah, sewers seems like a better idea then.
We could sneak in. I mean, I think their weak point is the railroad tracks.
That's what it looks like. Yeah.
We could come across the railroad track or come in on a train I'm
We're
sure
not
trains pass through here.
Not necessarily. This might be a private
Unless
line
it is
that
just a
hooks up to the
spur.
regular.
That is just
Yeah, I think this definitely has to be a spur. I don't see them pulling this off on a public railway.
I do.
We could get it.
but we could come in through the tracks. We could walk into
Or
the
the-
facility at night through the tracks.
I'm
Or on
sure
the
it's
Or the
gated.
river.
Even with trains, there you
The
can
river.
gate it. Oh,
That is a great idea.
As long as they don't have it blocked off.
We
No, they-
dive. I don't think they do because the spill went into the
I don't
river,
think they
right?
could.
there is a gate, I believe, on the other side.
Yeah, but they don't want to put the gate into the water because debris would get caught in it and it would get
Right.
clogged up almost
So
immediately.
yeah, so we can cut the gate. We can basically turn this into like an amphibious thing.
Frogmen.
Yeah, frog it out, head like come Riverside, head due south, get into the administration building, neutralize anyone who gets in our way, put the code in, get the bombs into the center of the laboratory, blow it up, leave.
Okay.
Yeah, most likely the research that they've done will be blown up with it unless they put it in computer and it's already at that point it's already out in the world and there's nothing we can do.
Delta Green could also
Well-
always send us or send another cell in as the, supposed cleanup team of the explosion.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
still worried that four men, no matter how capable we are, that's a lot of security and it's a big compound to get in undetected.
If we can figure
if
out
we
how
get
to do it
caught-
without alerting, yeah.
If we get detected anytime, it's a firefight. And it's a hard firefight all the way into the center of this facility to blow it up.
Yeah, but the way we are going in, if we head from the river south, is the farthest away from any of the dog runs or the posts. It's our
And-
best bet.
And these security guards are not like, FIDE. They're not ideological.
I don't think,
They're just
they
being paid to be there. They're not gonna,
I don't think they need
No, I wouldn't assume that. A lot of pharmaceutical companies employ ex-SEALs and things like that, depending on how sensitive how sensitive the material they're working with. It
No,
really
I think he's saying that they're probably in it for the money they're getting paid, not because they believe in the cause of
they may not want to lay down their lives.
pharmaceuticals.
They may not want to lay down their lives if they face heavy resistance, but
If
Even
the
if you
security
are-
guards run for the hills, wouldn't hunt them down.
Yeah, even if you are ex-military, you didn't spend a tour in Iraq to get killed by some random guy breaking into your facility.
They might not even carry guns. Who knows?
Well, if we're lucky.
That would be nice.
Yeah,
I
Mail,
think
based
we
on
can.
what you saw, they're definitely professional security. It's not like rent-a-cops or something.
I
They look fairly serious.
I don't know
What
what
about
one stealth is, but we're going to be working
what,
on
ab-
stealth.
what about animal tranquilizers? Darts.
Hmm.
If you could take out the guards with darts at night, I mean, that's another chemical compound that's fairly easy to produce. And if I give them an overdose and it accidentally kills them, well, we were going to do that anyway. But
Ketamine?
you'd have quite silent guns that shoot the darts, and
Mhm.
you could take them out one by one as you encounter them. Then we could go in at night and
Right. That would be all right.
knock everybody out.
Getting a
And
little
I,
bit into the weeds of the details at this point. We do need to wrap it up, though. I need to-
Okay. Yeah. Well, literally since it's September 9th, we've actually got days to plan this
Mhm.
before we pull it all off. We're not in a hurry. All right. Our players included Julian Arba, Thomas Grooms, Joseph Clay, Max Meltzer, and myself with Robert Bocchiere as the handler. We have a Discord server where you can chat with other members. You can set up private games. You can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Spotify, Podbean, or iTunes. Support for the show is provided by our patrons who are listed in the closing credits. If you'd like to show us your appreciation, please visit our Patreon page listed in the description, or you can use the thanks button just below the screen. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows, and leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answer any questions you might have. This is Thom Raley, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Delta Green role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.